Previously, I made the very factual statement that the Ferrari 312T was the most successful F1 car of all time. And that's true, if you happen to measure that by the amount of wins they had. But then again, that's only if you consider these two to be exactly the same vehicle? Now, I'm no lawyer, but I wouldn't say that those two are the same car. And you can't just say that the body panels are the same and the chassis is different, because they went to make a six-wheeled version, and that thing was still going to be called the same car. It originally started off as a brilliantly neutral balanced car. No understeer, no oversteer, it was just a really good car. Probably greatly helped along by Niki Lauda at this point.
It's amazing, all these facilities and you make a piece of crap like this.
With its sublime flat 12 beating second place by 50 horsepower. But after the Lotus 78 and the huge ground effect that it brought, the engine became a huge liability. That huge flat slab of a flat 12 that's in the back there meant that the under tray couldn't really follow the ideal path that it wanted to, that everyone else was using to be able to take full effect of ground effect. Full advantage of ground effect? You get the idea. But in a last-ditch effort, Ferrari did do ground effect, and they happened to win the last race of the wildest decade in F1 that ever existed. After making that gorgeous flat 12 a hell of a lot more reliable, narrowing the chassis to give more ground effect, and well, bad luck for other teams like Lotus, it stood as Ferrari's last championship win for over 20 years. Now, I'm not really a Ferrari fan, but that story swells so much emotion that I had to make a new variant of my old mod body for the 312T. And to start off with, it was kind of fun, but it was very tricky to make. We're going to start off by hiding that chassis. We don't need to see that. And we're also going to try to make this the proper weight as well. It is just a little bit higher, 575 for the original. And this one is 590. We might have to do some fudging in numbers, but let's give it a try. Fiberglass, monocoque, and then made of steel. As for the weight of the vehicle, we're gonna go with a 6-cylinder for now, but it has to be just shy of about 200 kilos for the engine. We'll see if cast iron does that or aluminium, because it's double the weight of a flat 6, but it is a lot longer. So, I mean, we'll try what we can do. None of this particularly really matters anyway, because we are not really using any of it. Really only the sound sort of volume stuff that we'll get from this is what we're gonna worry about. And we are overweight, alrighty. Aluminium? Oh, we're okay, still overweight. Alright, that's doing a lot better. And the first thing we're gonna have a look at paint jobs. What we're going to do is hide this chassis. Then we're gonna have a look at our paint color. So clearly Ferrari red with no flake. Now you can see what color options we have, and this one is going to be white. And that's basically it. It's a very simple color scheme. Rear-wheel drive. Duh. Open differential, because that's apparently what these sorts of vehicles ran. Gonna go with a radial, because they would have had radials by this point. A semi-slick, though we'll paint it fully slick. As for the tire sizes, though, what great tire descriptors. Thanks. 9.2? I think that's inches. 233s? Oh, that's wide. Let's go 230 on the front. It looks okay. Then 16.2 on the rear. 411. Oh dear. Yeah, we can only go up to 395s. We can do a little bit of maths later on. As for diameters, 13s for the wheels, and then 20 inches, which is 508. Those look okay, I suppose. Then 26 on the rear, which is 660. A nice round number finally. It's seemingly given us quite a bit of ray. We'll live with it for now though. Go some good old venties. Though the rear brakes were inboard apparently, we just don't have that option. Fully oh, you know what, hold on. Now we can finally put this to use. Aerodynamics, full numbers here. Oh, we can only go sports under tray. We can't go race under tray, but I suppose, I mean, it wasn't a great under tray anyway. Do I get a whole pass? I mean, I just realized I've still got the tech set to 1982, so, I mean, I'm already cheating apparently. Safety. Alrighty, we have brakes suffering from brake fade. So let's go to aero and give that like, I don't know, 35. And then looking at the brakes, I mean, sure, there. Okay, will that do it? We'll drop this. All right, I feel that's a good starting off point. We are going to have downforce on here, so this will change. But our weight is a little bit over. We put this up to maximum, 590, please. Oh, no. All right, let's do the same thing here. And we now have carbon fiber as an option. 628, 600. Oh, wait, that was only 1 kilo lighter. Oh, no, 80 kilos lighter. So now we're only 11 kilos over. Bump you up. Oh, perfecto mundo. Now, top speed, reckons 406. I somehow think that it maybe didn't go quite that fast. I suppose, am I generating a lot of power? Hey, no, not really. Well, I suppose let's start doing work on the look of it. We're going to use our suspension trick that I showed in my previous video, which is to use this new bit that we got here, and we're going to use the 3D placed version. So line you up as good as we can, get you into the wheel hubs, and then the stretchiness of this, I mean, it can come back at least a lot. And that's basically all you need to do. We'll do the rest of the modding later. Let's start by looking for the giant 4-spoked flat wheels. That is a particularly odd design. We'll see what we can do. I mean, we've got a 5-spoke, and we're not at the time of turbofan wheels quite yet. Not quite the 4-spoke I was expecting. I can't get exactly the right colors either, but it's close enough that it should do. Now for the engine, I don't think the engine sits there. Where does the engine sit on this thing? Looks like we've got the rear brakes, transmission, and the engine is a fair bit in forwards, right in line with these roll hoops. I didn't put the roll hoops on, god damn it. But we're gonna move the engine forwards anyway. Somewhere around there, I think? And it can go a lot lower. That exhaust is way too low. It is just blatantly there. It's really hard to tell. God damn. The only 3D model available is, unfortunately, the wrong sort of Ferrari. The engine doesn't seem that low. And the exhaust does go under. It is so hard to tell. If we have a look here, these roll bars do go all the way basically back to about here. And I thought I saw the engine behind that. Oh, here's a much better picture. Yeah, so we got cockpit there, clear fuel tankers most of that size, and then it's behind that. So, bugger. That's so weird. I think it goes about there, which means that the trumpets come up through it. Wait, you know what it is? The trumpets on the actual engine come out at a major angle. And then they seem to suck air from here, which is a little aqueduct there. Okay, interesting. All right, well, we're gonna have to fiddle with this in 3D modeling. I think I do have a better option anyway. For now, we're just gonna turn this to 0.5 scale. The reason being is the engine is actually only a 1.5 liter anyway, so it is very narrow and small. What about the front? Do these things have front wings? Yes, and a very pointy nose on this one. I will also concede that this wing is a very unique shape, and I should 3D model it, but I'm also incredibly lazy. So what do we have as an option? I suppose we have this. Also this? I could try using my original mod wing that I made and just modify that a little bit, but it is a single element wing, so probably not. Oh, there is this fantastic looking wing, and it's also got that extra element at the rear, which makes it have that air dam effect. And what that does is cause air to kind of bunch up at the top. They still didn't fully understand that it's the flow underneath that creates the downforce, and not the air punching the top that does it. The suspension on the rear is also very custom. I don't think my suspension really fits the deal, so yeah, can't use that one, I don't think. We can go ahead and put in the scoops that we hear though. Use something like this. I think that's working well. Now, we had that little bit of an engine intake through Nacaduct thing. Use my smoother Nacaduct for this one. About in line with that, just maybe a little bit further back, and about midway through the middle. And not nearly as big as that. And move back. Done. Grab some of these reworked vents that I made. Stretchy stretch. And these are fairly hard to see, so if I can't see them that well, they're doing fine. Yeah, looks alright. Wait, is that glass inside out? Oh, whoops. Let's go to face orientation. Damn it! I mean, it doesn't really matter too much, but it's something I can fix easily. But we'll do that before we release the mod body live, but for now we'll just leave it and change it in BeamNG. Because in BeamNG it's one-sided only, so may as well just go into BeamNG and then turn it to double-sided. I'm also finding that there's actually multiple variations of just where the wing mirror is. Like, oh my god, make up your minds. Here it's got it going along the length of the glass. Here on this one it's only a little small bulbousy sort of thing. This one is also small and bulbousy. This one has the glass come to about here, I think, and it's got, I don't know, weird shadows on it, and then there's like bulbousy bits. I don't. Replicas of these sorts of things, really tricky, because they were never consistent. I suppose they still aren't consistent nowadays either, really. Let's just go ahead and paint on these stripes. So we got a big white, and then green and red. What the hell? What is that? Why is there a hole there? That's strange. Okay. Let's just ignore that hole for now and hope that it goes away. Oh, it's actually not that thick, is it? Bugger. Well, let's go ahead and make this narrower. Okay, that's looking nice again. Now we're just gonna clean up this janky area. Now we put red and green stripes on, do everything all over again. Now we've kind of gone for a bit of a weird way to cap these off, but that's because getting the matches on here, not great. And if we have a look here, it gets tricky. Automation doesn't do tricky. All right, next thing, we got a skirt here, looks like crudded up plastic. I think we should be able to do something with that. Just, I think, use a cube. And to make sure we're gonna be touching the ground with it. Okay, well, there's actually no ground here. Damn it! It looks good enough. And then some sort of like yellowy plastic. I wish I could make this like semi-translucent. That's looking close to the color. It does look a little bit whiter, however. We'll just desaturate that a bit and make it a little bit darker. And I think that'll do. Yeah, that works enough. And here, it's different again. Woo! And here it's different. Here it's nice and clean with studs at the top and bottom. I think this might be a brush line at the bottom. And what that allowed them to do is have like a fairly flexible and reliable sort of thing at the bottom, which is very important for the time because plastics were not very good yet. I suppose we could start with doing some badging. So we've got 11s here and 11s here. I don't think we have quite the right font, unfortunately. We have this, which is close, but no cigar. As you can see here, it is filled in. So let's just see what an 11 looks like. 11, you know what? I think to the untrained eye, it will pass. Then the next one is red and it goes back here. That's a problem. We can't paint these because for some reason there's just no paint options allowed for writing. That's the best we can do. I mean, we have this. I think we might have to because the only other real option I could see us using is black. And though it works enough, I feel as if it needs to be red to be the counterpoint to that. Though this one looks like a 7 and I hate it. What does a 7 look like? Yeah, 7 look... that's not a 1. But I suppose we don't really have much else. Wait, hold on. Can I just choose like an L instead? Ugh, fine. 11 it is. We got an agate and a magnet marrel. I think I've seen an agate sticker before, or similar at least. But fuck me, I suppose. Because I can't find it. Shit. You know what? The last time I saw it, I might have drawn it myself. Yeah, that looks like it works. And for the next one, yeah, can't find one for that either. I'm really shit out of luck, aren't I? So let's just go something. Doesn't match whatsoever, but we need more badging. Then a whole bunch in there. I recognize champion. We might be able to find that maybe. Nope. Fuck me. I could have sworn it was on here. Oh, we actually have one that's a knockoff. We have Brembo here. And here we have Bergamo. Perfect. I think that'll do for the side. It's close enough. Then Jody. Then we've got this written here. And Fiat. And then put my name on the side. Philman Schechter. The La Ferrari badge. Of which I don't think we really have. Oh, wait, hold on. Now we have these sorts of things. Is there a knockoff of a Ferrari, maybe? There's a few Porsche, but I know specifically that the Porsche ones don't work. So if we click on said Porsche one, yeah, it's, not what we wanted. So instead we're gonna try to make one, and it's just gonna be a shape and a horse. I remember what I did. Now I grabbed this doodad. Then I just narrowed it up on one side. There, perfect. Wouldn't you say? Yeah. Ah. Nice. Whoops. There we go. Then Fiat. There, that'll do. Then the wing. Now, this is something I noticed is actually very differing on a lot of them. This one you can see here, it looks fairly flat, but then there's this variation where it lifts up massively in the middle. And you can see it here, it's lifted up as well. Then here you can see it's a little bit of a dip down. It's so inconsistent. And even my memory of this is very inconsistent. Look at that. This picture has it depicted being way up. And here's a real picture with it way up. In fact, actually, I'd say that most of them look like it's way up in the middle. I don't get it. And here's one where it clearly shows that it comes out considerably. But not all of them show that. It's really hard to get good pictures of this, but a lot of them show that this is actually flat and then it goes up in the middle. So they must have been trying lots of different things for rear wings. Well, my driver's crashed. And to skip a few, I just did all the rest of the designing. To be honest, not a whole lot was done, like a whole bunch of wings went on, a few invisible ones, and no matter seemingly what I do, this thing just doesn't, like, it's got 74 kilograms of downforce on the front and 800 kilograms on the rear, which is too much. I'm gonna drop that down just a lot. I want to go down to like 600-ish. So these numbers here, it would put it at somewhere in the vicinity of that Lotus 78 that I made, the ground effect one. I think it was the Lotus 78. But yeah, it couldn't make it as much as the next generations that were much better, but this comes even after that. So I'm thinking like about 600-ish, matching the original ground effect car. This could do okay. Wait, hold on. I should probably clarify. The first ground effect car apparently did it really, really poorly. That's why that's what I'm trying to match. But no matter what I do, this thing still wants to oversteer, and I've even down the size of the front tires. I've got less front camber, more rear camber maybe. Now let's have a look. Nope, still, like, this thing is ridiculous. Anywho, our top speed is somewhere around apparently 375. This is not the right amount of power, though. We'll have more power than this. And now for the brakes. They're looking pretty weak, so we'll increase them. And this thing is going to be an absolute nightmare to drive. The reason why is because at top speed, it'll be fine for braking, but the slower you go, the more lock-up prone your vehicle is going to be. So you're going to have to brake super hard and then start releasing off the brake. It's not great, but this is the sort of stuff you would have to do as a race car driver. And still do, even with ABS, you still do lift off as you go slower because you are getting less downforce. And even though you have ABS most of the time, it's still a thing you have to really be mindful of. What does automation reckon it can do with not perfect engine? So I think the normal engine has about 500 horsepower, which is probably somewhere in the vicinity of 390. Let's see if we could just replicate that. Now instead of a 150, it'll do a 148. Great. 2 seconds. Now I'm going to do the suspension trick, so I'm not going to have force unbreakable on. So I've gone ahead and I've taken this engine here, a little bit quiet, maybe a little bit hard to hear, but under revving, it gets a lot louder. I just realized I'm on the dyno right now, don't need to be. Yeah, it's a little bit flat sounding, but let me run you through something quickly. This is what I used to actually get the sound. This is a bit of broken exhaust. If you saw my video on me picking up a car from another state, it was like the MGF. This is some of the exhaust that broke off, and I would just get a lighter at one end, a gas igniter at one end, and then I would record it at the other end, and that's how I got this sound. But I wasn't quite sure if this sound was going to be good. Let's go have a listen. In BeamNG, gotta say the idle is a little quiet, but not too bad. I could probably turn the audio up. Yeah, that'll help. And you know, not too shabby. Hopefully I don't get copyright struck, but this is kind of very similar. But yeah, not perfect. There was another option, however, and that is to use this sound which Ange the Great used. And what I did is took their sounds and added it to my engine. So, turn her on. And it sounds arguably more realistic, except for the fact that it sounds quite echoey, and I don't know how that's going to play in BeamNG. I've never done it before, so let's give it a try. I've got it set up so all I have to do is change it from norm, which is the normal sound, to EC, which is short for echo. I've done a lot of work today, and refreshing, and you know what? Doesn't sound that echoey. It does sound very much like a V12 as well. Sounds pretty freaking awesome. Yeah, I've done a lot of work to this car today. Oh, this thing understeers at high speed. That's a problem. I might try to move my aero balance a bit further forwards. But for now, oh my god, it is past 2 a.m. I'm gonna go to sleep, and in the morning, then I'll go record the rest of this, which will be the hot lap. Ready for disheveled? Well, it's morning. I wasn't able to get anything more than like 5 hours sleep. But I do have to get this video done before I run out of time. So, you should like and subscribe because I go to all this effort. So, I was able to get the 4 exhausts to work, and you can see them spluttering and whatnot, all the flames from each individual one. The collision meshes are all fixed and everything. There's only one little bit of an issue. It does understeer at high speed, so I'll take you for a bit of a drive around the automation test track. Though, you know what, I've only tested on grid map. It's understeering a little bit at about 90 kilometers an hour. Now it's understeering at 130. Yeah, I think we need like a buttload more front downforce. What I might do is go to automation, export some more stiffer front aero. Oh god. And then use the aero from that. And luckily, because we're using variants, I should actually be able to export it into this existing mod, and then just select the part and part selector. We call this front downforce. Then, under front aero, we're going to give this thing a buttload more front aero. And because the mod is unpacked, hopefully this will work, because the mod is heavily modified. We're going to remove that, and remove that, turn off zip pack mod, and let's hope that it doesn't interfere with the fact that this is heavily modified. When we have 2 versions in here, let's bring it out, and under the parts, front downforce. Oh, there's no extra option here. Frick. So apparently variants don't take aero into consideration. Well, I suppose it's time to learn how this aero thing works. So we're not going to use constant, we're going to use front downforce lift adjust. So does that mean that I'm adding on to the amount of downforce that I'm creating already, or is this overwriting how much downforce I make at 200 kilometers an hour? So let's go do a test. 119 approximately on the front axles. At 200 kilometers an hour, we're getting about 130. So, that's about 10 kilos. Let's try this out. I've never used this before. Oh, that's 200 kilos. No, let's try going like 50. So that should put us to 170 on the front. So here we go. 200. And we're only getting 150 on the front. Okay. On the rear we got about 280 on the rear. Let's undo this. And good, that doesn't seem to be affecting the rear downforce at all, which means that we're only adding it to the front. It also means that it's a little bit jank, unfortunately, so we'll have to do some workarounds. So back here again, if we want, say, let's go 50 again. And apply that. Hopefully this adds the appropriate amount of drag as well. But now we're still locking up on the front a lot. Still got quite a bit of understeer. Oh, oversteer now. Might have to go a little bit of toe in on the rear. And we're not actually getting a whole lot more traction on the front. That's poop. I was hoping to have just better traction on the front. The car handles pretty darn well though. It locks up a little too easily. It will be better once we get the sim rig up here and we're actually doing a proper lap of Monaco. I just wanted to do some testing. Last night all I did was just make sure that basically the thing didn't catch on fire, and then I wanted to see whether it was negatively affected on handling, and seemingly I feel as if it is. But yeah, the vehicles tend to burst into flames a little too easily currently. If just the nodes are just touching the ground, it'll just burst into flames. Nothing particularly has to go wrong, it just has to touch the ground. I feel this is actually pretty good. Maybe if I'm doing something like Monaco, it'll want a lot more front downforce and maybe less rear downforce. But yeah, I think I'm ready to go try that out. So here we are. I've done a bit of practice and there's a few things that I've learned. One of which is turning down hub stiffness and rim stiffness will severely help with your ability to jiggle considerably less under braking and whatnot. It still jiggles a lot, but I don't need to use jiggle fix quite as much so more, and it's also kind of broken. But for now, I'm going to give you guys a nice quiet listen to the engine. Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, I had a few tries. I think I'm just... I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pre-record a lap, and we'll just play that one. You can listen to the pretty sounds. A 141? I think that might be a little too fast. How? Hold on, let's double check this. What? It's faster than the McLaren MP4-4? It's the fastest car I've made! I mean, okay, so technically I went back and I did some work on the Brabham. I didn't get like the fastest time possible, but I was able to get a 137, so at least that makes sense. But I thought that the McLaren MP4/4 would have been faster. I mean, maybe because it's got a ton of downforce kind of thing? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I've got to really go through and redo all my hot laps because it's also probably to do with the fact that I am a little bit better of a driver. But that's astonishing. This thing was really, really fast. Man, this has been a fun video to make, but I am really tired. But I also want to point out one other fault with this car. And that's, whilst you're driving it, you can't really look at it. So, it is pretty cool to look at. It is so weird and unusual looking. Nothing else has really looked like it in the past or like it since. That like double split nose thing, it's just weird. Trust Ferrari to do something really, really weird and then everyone think that it looks gorgeous. Even I think it looks gorgeous, even though it looks super, super weird. And let me show you how much I actually like the 3.1T after I did the last one. It ended up as my desktop background. Now, because I've got ultra-wide, it's clipping a little bit, which is unfortunate, but you get the idea. Still, I think this car is pretty cool, and the last hurrah of the 70s. Now, going into the future, I am planning to do a bit of a get-together with a whole bunch of other YouTubers and do a 70s F1 sort of race and pit all my 70s F1 cars together. Clearly, some are going to be better than others. I have updated pretty much every single one of them, so they'll hopefully be a whole lot better as well, and I'll do a bulk update on my BeamNG repository, and you can go watch over there when they get released and whatnot. This will be available, and also the front aero version, which is completely unmodified at all, is also available on there. But the good thing is if you unpack the mod, in there's also a .car file. You can put this through automation, and you can make your own variants and add it to your own copy of this mod. I mean, that's all up to you. Everything's up to you. You can go have as much fun as you want. This has been great for me. But for now, I'm gonna go sleep. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining. I'd like to specifically thank my channel members. That specifically includes the Hellerman. But to everybody else, goodbye.